Alright, so here we are on my deck. I'm constantly moving things around. I don't know. I never keep things where they originally were, and maybe that's not a good thing. I don't really know. I keep adding things too, so I just want everything to be in the right place. So I guess I'll start from the left over here. This is my jelly bean blueberry bush, which I trimmed because it had I guess from what I've heard on YouTube, it's like a black spot bacteria or like a mold or something, I don't know. But the leaves had all these black spots on it, so I've trimmed all of those, gotten rid of them. But I've already eaten my first blueberry. As you can see, there's quite a few more, and I can go all the way around the plant. There's still quite a few more blueberries popping up on this plant, so I'm excited for this to continue throughout the summer. Down here, these two little Tupperwares that I've self-made, I had them with the base in another Tupperware, which came all the way up to the top, and we had a lot of rain, and I of course didn't know if they were coming through or not, the storms, so I watered everything prior, and both of these two little pots here flooded, and they were flooded for a few hours overnight. And so I drained them. The little nubblings that were there were completely damaged. You know, some of them broke off, completely gone. But I'm hopeful that I'll get a little bit more growth out of this. I put some new little bases down there for them. On the left, I think that is my, I'm trying to remember right now. I think on the left is spearmint. On the right is my only catnip that's going right now. I may want to start some other pot with some catnip now, because I think that's going to be pretty demolished. So I might be thinking about a different catnip here. Anyway, let's move on. This is my large pot of spearmint. No action. I did have action down here prior to the flood, like I said, but I don't have any action up here yet. This is a very large pot, so I don't know, it might take a little bit longer for it to sprout. These are my red onions here. I've been kind of documenting these for a while. I just took them off of a riser. I put the spearmint on the riser because they're doing very well. They're growing very tall. I just want to make sure that they have the most sunlight that they can get, because as you can see, I have a nice little sun blocker there. I'm facing east, so I get a lot of morning sunlight, so I want to just make sure that these onions are getting the right amount of sunlight. As we move to the right, this is my California Wonder bell pepper. Just today and a couple days ago, I've done a little bit of pruning. It's starting to flower, so I also just added this little ring system here not too long ago. It's, like I said, it's starting to bud. It hasn't flowered yet, it's budding, but it was just full of leaves and foliage, and it just felt like it was a little bit overwhelming, and light wasn't getting in really to the base and to the branches. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to trim a little bit, give a little bit of light to these fruits that are coming in, and we'll see what's going on. Hopefully, you know, I'm actually going to let this one go to fruit right now. Some people may top again right now because it's starting to fruit. It hasn't even reached the top of this little ring system here, but I've already got, I think, 7, 8, or 9, or maybe even 10 buds going on right now of bell peppers, and I really think that's more than enough. So I'm gonna just see how that goes. Over here, this is my jalapeno. Now I just topped it. I had, I think, 3 or 4 different nodes going, and they were all about to, I think it was 3. I had 3 different nodes that were about to bud, and they were starting to bud. And another one over there that was kind of coming off, but wasn't budding yet. It was still growing. I topped off all the ones that were budding, and I'm seeing tremendous growth, of course. You know, it's only been a day, maybe a day and a half. It might be hard to see here. This is just my cell phone, but you can see there's already side shoots coming off of here. Very incredible. It's gonna, I think I counted them the other day. I think I'm gonna have about 10 to 12 different side shoots coming off of here. And every side shoot, of course, is gonna produce more peppers, so, you know, if we can get 2 peppers per side shoot, that's 24 peppers right there. I mean, that's crazy. We have a lot of the growing season left. This is only the end of June, so a lot of time left. Alright, right down here we have our spinach. This first spinach right here, I'll even pick it up. It was getting really tall. It was right on the edge of the bucket here. We had a very strong rain the other day, and it got pushed over. It's kind of covering the other 2 sprouts that came up, but it's still going, and the other sprouts are starting to put out their second leaves, so I'm very optimistic about my spinach here. It's just, you know, 3 or 4 of them, but hey, a few sprouts is better than nothing. Moving to the right, over here in this little black cup here, I have a little bit more spearmint. This is actually sprouting. If you can see, I'm trying to zoom in as close as possible. Got a little bit of spearmint sprouting right there. Marigolds. Got our Kentucky Wonder green beans. Don't know what's really going on here. Okay. Kentucky Wonder green beans, which today I just created this trellis system, which I think I need to make a little bit more adjustments to. I think I need to add 1 more cross pole. Eventually, when I have my own land, I made it in the way that I can still stake it in the ground as a rectangle or square trellis or whatever you may think of it. But today I'm just gonna let it go as a triangle, let this green bean kind of wrap its way around it. I'm gonna help it out, of course. Got some more red onions down here that I'm gonna try to make scallions out of. These are 2 broccoli plants down here, so they're getting a little crowded. Whole point is to try to make a little bit of shade over here with these green beans. I broke off about 1.5 feet, probably. I just made this trellis today, so these green beans kind of like coiled their way up this little green stake here. And today I made this little trellis, and it was all just like handmade out of these like 6 stakes. And I just was like, okay, well, like, let's do 10 inches, I don't know, like 16 inches, maybe 50 inches, I don't know, let's make this one at like 20 inches. And I just kind of was random about it. You know, obviously putting into mind that each side had to be identical and whatever, but was kind of just a little bit random about making this trellis, in thought that this green bean plant will just kind of like swerve its way around here and make kind of like a green little barricade in this corner, which will be beneficial because it will shade this broccoli plant over the hot months of August and July, and the end of July. I may need to move it a little bit because that's the south. Even though we have those pines and a few other trees, that's a pretty big tree. He'll probably be blocked quite well. But anyway, we still want to give him as much protection as possible so that we can get a nice, good broccoli head. And over here, these are my romaine lettuce. I'm going to call it baby romaine lettuce because I've been eating this left and right just from the pot. As I sit out here, if I see a little leaf that's getting bigger than the others, I'll just kind of yank it off and eat it as I'm out here. It's kind of nice to have this little pot of romaine, and got a motorcycle or a scooter or whatever. Anyway, it's kind of nice to have this little pot of romaine sitting right next to you, you know, as you're sitting on your deck enjoying your garden and enjoying the outdoors and everything. It's kind of nice to have this to sit here and just kind of pick on. It's kind of what I'm hoping to get out of this little blueberry plant over here. Eventually, I'm hoping it will be completely, blue, and can have two people out here. I can be snacking on the romaine while my friend out here is snacking on some blueberries, and maybe I'll have some mint. We can throw a few mint leaves in our mouth, and who knows? You know, even maybe I'll be so lucky to have so many peppers that I could just say, hey, let's snack on a couple peppers, or beans, beans too. Anyway, that's my outyard garden, or my deck garden, and I hope you guys enjoyed. More to come.